Welcome to the Property Code. I am Nick, and today we are tackling the most searched gateway question in the United States as we move into 2026. How to invest in real estate. People type it when they feel stuck between two fears: the fear of missing out on wealth building and the fear of making an expensive mistake. Real estate is no longer a niche hobby for insiders. It has become a mainstream strategy for people who want control over income, inflation protection, and long-term stability in a world that feels financially unpredictable. Let me tell you a story that mirrors the listener. Meet Jenna. She is 32, lives in Chicago, and works in healthcare operations. Jenna is disciplined. She saves. She invests a little in retirement accounts. But she keeps noticing something. Every year, her life gets more expensive and her income does not feel like it is catching up. She hears friends talk about rentals, equity, and cash flow. She also hears horror stories about tenants, repairs, and bad neighborhoods. She wants the upside without the chaos. One night, she opens her phone and searches the same phrase, million search: how to invest in real estate. What she needs is not a hype strategy. She needs a system. The first thing Jenna learned is that real estate investing is not one game. It is several games that look similar from the outside. Some people invest for monthly cash flow. Some invest for long-term appreciation. Some invest for tax advantages. Some invest for leverage. The moment you know which game you are playing, the right decisions get easier. In 2026, the market is rewarding investors who are structured, not impulsive. Interest rates are still a factor. Insurance is more expensive in many regions, and buyers are more cautious. That sounds like a problem until you realize it creates opportunity. When the crowd hesitates, disciplined investors get better negotiations, more seller concessions, and fewer bidding wars. The edge comes from preparation. Jenna started with a simple rule: do not buy a property, buy a deal. A deal is a set of numbers that make sense even when life gets messy. Vacancy happens, repairs happen, taxes rise, insurance changes. A deal survives because the margin is real. She learned to look at a property like a business. Income comes in through rent. Expenses go out through mortgage, taxes, insurance, repairs, management, and vacancies. What remains is cash flow. Cash flow is the oxygen. Appreciation is optional. Oxygen is not. So Jenna built her first investing foundation. She created a stability cushion, not because she wanted to be conservative, but because she wanted to be calm. Calm investors make better decisions. Then she improved her credit profile and cleaned up small debts that increased her monthly obligations. This was not glamorous, but it increased her buying power and lowered her cost of capital. In real estate, your cost of capital is your competitive advantage. Next, she chose a strategy. Instead of trying to master everything, she picked a lane. She chose house hacking because it fit her reality. She did not have unlimited savings, but she did have reliable income. In house hacking, you buy a property as an owner-occupant and rent out part of it: a duplex, a triplex, or even a home with a rentable suite. The goal is simple: let the property subsidize your housing costs while you build equity. Jenna found a duplex in a stable, working neighborhood near transit. She lived in one unit and rented the other. Her tenant paid a large portion of the monthly payment. For the first time in her adult life, Jenna felt like her housing cost was an asset instead of a bill. She was not a landlord in the way people imagine. She was an operator learning the fundamentals with training wheels on. That first year taught her what real estate actually is. It is not passive at the beginning. It becomes passive when systems are in place. Jenna learned tenant screening, basic maintenance, and communication. She learned what good property management looks like by doing the early part herself. Then she hired help for the parts that did not deserve her time. As she gained confidence, Jenna noticed the second layer of real estate investing in 2026: the rise of income-based underwriting and professionalized tools. Many investors now qualify for certain loans based more on property income than personal stories. Rental analytics tools help estimate rents and demand. Digital property management reduces friction. That means the new investor is not competing blind anymore. The new investor can operate with data. Jenna also learned a principle that separates beginners from builders. The purchase is not the business. The operations are the business. A mediocre purchase can become a great investment if operations improve. Rent increases responsibly. Vacancy decreases through better tenant experience. Maintenance becomes scheduled instead of emergency. Expenses get tracked like a real business. This is how real estate becomes a controllable asset, not a gamble. Then Jenna faced the question every investor meets: where do I invest? Her answer was not a city she loved. It was a city where the math worked. She looked for markets with stable employment, landlord-friendly processes, reasonable taxes, and rents that could support ownership costs. She avoided neighborhoods where the only plan was appreciation. She wanted cash flow first, appreciation second. She also developed her risk filter, which matters more in 2026.
X than ever. She asked questions that most beginners do not ask until it is too late. What is the insurance picture? What is the roof age? What is the flood risk? What is the local rent growth history? What is the vacancy trend? What is the tenant profile? What are the property taxes doing? Curious. Each question removed risk. With one strong year behind her, Jenna refinanced to improve terms and build flexibility. She did not over-leverage. She did not chase maximum debt. She focused on durability. Determined. The goal was not to look rich. The goal was to become unbreakable.
Her second investment came through partnership. In 2026, the most common way people scale is not saving for a decade. It is combining roles. Some people have capital but no time or skill. Others have skill but limited capital. Jenna became the operator. She found deals, underwrote them conservatively, and partnered with someone who wanted passive exposure. They created clear responsibilities and clear reporting. That structure created trust. Trust created repeat capital. This is the reality of real estate investing in 2026. Money is not the only constraint. Credibility is. The more disciplined your underwriting and the cleaner your communication, the more funding options appear. Banks respect numbers. Private lenders respect collateral. Partners respect transparency. Jenna also avoided the biggest trap of the modern market: the fantasy of effortless passive income. Real estate becomes passive only after you buy.
Build systems. The first phase is learning. The second is stabilizing. The third is scaling. People who skip the phases pay tuition in the form of bad deals. Proud. By the end of her second year, Jenna owned her duplex, had equity in a small single-family rental, and a clear pipeline for the next purchase. She was not a celebrity investor. She was something more valuable. She was consistent. Her financial life was no longer based on hope. It was based on assets that produced outcomes.
If you're listening and wondering how to invest in real estate in 2026, here is the truth. You start by choosing a strategy that matches your current life. You build a foundation that keeps you calm. You learn the numbers so you can spot real deals. You manage risk like a professional. You build systems. Then you scale with either better financing, partnerships, or both. Real estate is not a shortcut. It is a skill. And like any skill, it rewards the person who practices consistently, not the person who gets excited occasionally.